Progressively worse over 3 years, according to Pro Football Focus. The year, look at this here. 156.3 quarterbacks have a passer rating when targeting him. I mean, that's the best is 158.3.
Yeah.
So, look, what is going on with Josh Norman? D'Angelo, you made headlines when you said he's more focused on being a celebrity than a football player this week. And Josh, he had something to say about that back.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I seen a little bit of he's out in Hollywood, and I can say that's true. I have went to Hollywood. I've been to Hollywood. Ever since I came out of my mama's womb, I've been to Hollywood. You know, D. Hall, he called me when I was coming from Panthers, and, you know, he spoke to me, and he was begging me, like, come on, J-No, come over here, you know, we got everything set up. And it's crazy because, okay, I took the visit. And the visit, I was on the plane with D. Hall. You know, brought me up, excited. And we even did an interview as soon as I got here at Big Mama's Kitchen, I think. I mean, I looked up to D. Hall. I really do, still do. I mean, his kids looked up to me. I was looking up to him, and it's just, you know, I heard that, and it's kind of like when a microphone is in your face after you leave here. I guess, you know, that song is true. You smile in faces. It's just quite an experience. It's quite, you know, it's shocking to me as well. But like I said, you know, I respect him and all what he's done for this organization, even when he played in Atlanta. So it is what it is. Like I told you, I'm a hot button. So if you're gonna press it, you're gonna get something out of it.
You see Kareem Copeland from the Washington Post in the background? He had his this is going to be me.
In his face like
It's going to be me this segment right now.
I'm going to sit on up. Let me sit on up.
Hold on, there we go. Go ahead.
Okay.
So there's a lot to cover there.
Yes.
A lot to cover there.
Unpack.
And, you know, I am a fan of Josh. And that's why this is so much of a big deal to me. Because I made the statement on a radio show that had Darrell Green weighed in on my performance, Mike, I'd have took it as a challenge.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get it. You know what I mean? Let's get it. Let's grind.
Yep.
If he's thinking I'm not doing something I need to do, well, let me do it. Now, I've said that the difference is D. Green didn't sit in the meeting room with me, so he really didn't have any idea.
Right.
I was a teammate of this guy for 2 years.
Yeah.
And so I know the kind of player he can be, and I know what they were getting when they wanted to sign him. That was part of the reason I did meet him, and I was on that plane, and I was trying to do what the organization wanted, which was help get Josh Norman signed up. It's part of the reason my kids like him. Everything he said is true. It's absolutely true. But my point was, you heard Josh reference, you know, I am Hollywood. I've been Hollywood since I came out the womb. And that's the one I don't really agree with, because you know, you've seen his career, him ascend to this superstar level. He's not Reggie Bush. Reggie was a 5-star high school football player, played at USC, played on national championships teams, won a Heisman, should have been the #1 overall draft pick.
Yeah.
He was a star. From day one, Reggie Bush was a star. I met Reggie, I'm already in the league, and I'm a fan when I first met him. Yeah. And so that to me is a guy who's been Hollywood from day one. Now, Josh is a different guy. He grinded, worked his butt off, got a scholarship to a little school, Coastal Carolina, was a late-round draft pick, worked his butt off, was on the practice squad, became an all-pro. To me, that's the story. That's that's what you need to be selling to kids, because that's what's going to motivate. It's more kids that fall in that realm of being that type of football player than it does being just the best player from the moment they popped out. Yeah. And so to me, you know, I just want to see Josh get back to that level. And he knows anything that I'm saying right now or on the radio that I would say it to his face.
Yeah. Do you think he can get back to that?
I think he can. I absolutely think he can, but it has to be the most important thing. And for a lot of guys, football isn't the most important thing sometimes, which is not a problem, because you can still be great.
Let me throw something in here. I have not confirmed this on my own. This is a report from Kevin Sheehan. Do you know Kevin down there? Kevin is
I know
Redskins pregame show host. He has a podcast now. And he said the reason Josh Norman was benched for the start of the second half against the Saints was not because he was playing poorly. It's because he had his headphones on at halftime. Jay Gruden was trying to talk to the team, and he wouldn't take the headphones off. I don't know if you know if that's accurate, but what's your reaction just hearing that?
I mean, my reaction to hearing that is this. Josh isn't always the most prepared guy. And that's where I'm coming from with the story of, look, man, you're trying to be too Hollywood. You're trying to do too many things. Focus on this. This is paying you a lot of money right now. And you got a short window to get that money. And we've all been in that situation. Let's capitalize on that. And so, to me, I know he can get back to that, but just hearing that, because what happens in locker rooms, people thinking that's not a big deal. But what happens in locker rooms at halftime, we need everybody locked in because the coach is going over adjustments. At that point, it's a ball game. It is a ball game right now.
They had just scored right before halftime.
They had just scored, and so it's a ball game, and they're still in it. So it's not time to be frustrated. It's not time to get mad. It's time to just lock in.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how like when we looked at those numbers before with how he's declined and his play, and you see it and you wonder how he can sit there and say that he's been Hollywood since he came out, but he's not backing up the play.
Yeah, and Colleen, a lot of what I say is because it applied to me too. Because when I went to Oakland, I kind of got a little Hollywood. I signed a really big contract. I kind of tried to be like Nnamdi. Nnamdi didn't always practice. Nnamdi Asamoah, who at the time was an Oakland corner, didn't always practice. And I wasn't built like that. I needed to practice. I needed to stay engaged. And I saw Nnamdi, and I was like, man, he ain't practicing, I ain't practicing. And my game suffered. I got cut, which humbled me, brought me back to reality. I started grinding and working in them last 8 games in Washington and ended up signing a big free agent deal in Washington. And so I don't want him to have to get cut before it refocuses him. If it takes me being the bad guy saying, hey, Josh, you too Hollywood. Get out of doing all that stuff you're doing, and let's lock in playing football. Because like I tell people, I'd rather have a uber competitive football player than just a guy who, not really into it. And his competitive nature is unmatched in the National Football League.
You saw it in the
how fiery he is. And, like, you can win with that. You can absolutely win with that type of mentality and approach. And I just want to see Josh get
that
back
passion.
To it. Because my kids are fans.
You saw it in some of the highlights in there, just how passionate he is, the way he was going back at Michael Thomas. And the one thing that I love about this relationship is that the fact that he was humble enough not to fire back at you and throw a bunch of insults, but to also kind of accept it like, okay, you got a point. Like, I do need to straighten up.
It's interesting.
I respect that part too, because he didn't. It didn't become personal between him and me. It's strictly just.
Well, I mean, like ultimately, like you said, you just want to see him bring out what he has, his natural ability. Like, just go back to the basics and do you, and it'll all come together.